Hello friends! In this video we will talk about the conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto and what it means in individual horoscopes. After an introduction, I will say what are the messages of this conjunction, conditionally speaking of course, and then in the third part I will speak about each zodiac sign and say how this conjunction will affect you as an individual through your sign. I already talked about the conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto in the video named Jupiter and Pluto, Conscience and Fear. And I suggest you to watch this video definitely if you are interested in that what is happening in the year 2020, because this is one of the major conjunctions that we are experiencing. As in every video, I tried in that one to speak about the conjunction in a positive way. The energy of the planets is morally neutral, so it is only up to us to use it for better or worse. So there is no energy that is very bad or energy that is very good. It always depends on us. What do we do with those energies that planets represent? But the energy that emerges in 2020 is very, very serious. And it looks that what we are experiencing now is a pure struggle of good and evil, just like in fairy tales or in stories, only with much greater intensity, because we are experiencing this as live beings, not only on an intellectual or mental level, or not only on the level of feeling, as it is when we read fairy tales, but we experience it and we see it, we are watching this and we almost feel that everything is happening with us. So although I try to speak positively about every transit, and I even believe that there is a lot of positive energy, that those positive forces are much stronger than the opposite ones, the whole process is still very, very dynamic. So I warn people to become aware of it during this year, if they were not aware of that, how serious process this is. And I also would support all of you to understand that we live actually in the world of great illusions and dishonesties. And if you wish to understand this, one of the most important thing is to stop watching these official medias, because they create this false reality we live in. And the reason why so many people in today's time have panic attacks is because they feel intuitively that something else is happening from that what is presented. Only a clear, pure, honest, and conscious view of situation by each individual and by the collective can give good results and can allow us to continue a normal life on this planet that we have so much destroyed so far. It will also, this approach, this very, very, how to say, honest and pure approach to life can help us to live among people who have completely reduced humanity to the lowest possible level. So when we realize what they were really doing in this world and with us, and I hope we will realize that we still have to live with them, and not to be as they are. So we need to be very, very much aware of those processes. How some people have put the humanity down will be hopefully clear to everyone soon. So those who do not yet know what is the background of everything what is happening in the world, we hopefully have a chance to discover that during the year 2020. There are a lot of news now already on the internet, and I suggest you and encourage you to search for the truth on your own, to listen carefully and to read what is offered, and to be ready to change your prejudice, your knowledge or your opinion, and to go in the line with how things are changing. So we are in the process of learning intensively, all of us, and our prejudice will have to change continually as we learn more and more what is happening actually in the world. Well, in times like this, it doesn't matter so much whether the love of my life will appear or whether I'm going to go to the vacation to Greece or Italy, me or anybody else. This, what we are experiencing, is a collective thing. And I spoke separately about that in my video named Saturn in Aquarius. So please watch this video if you're interested in that, what is happening with us collectively. In that video, I have described that social and political events will have direct impact on our lives. Each of us, basically. So what area of life is the conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto happening in? Almost everyone knows if you're following those videos or reading about contemporary transits that you most probably know where do you have this conjunction. I have spoken about this in many of my previous videos, many monthly and yearly forecasts, and especially in the video Saturn in Capricorn, Jupiter in Capricorn, conjunction of Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. I have 2 videos about this conjunction. I recommend them to you also. And I have spoken about this in my video Eclipses on the Cancer-Capricorn axis. So I guess you know where this conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto is happening in your natal chart. But if you don't know, if you still do not have your horoscope, you can go to my webpage, symbolicthinking.net, go to products, from products, which is the shop, shop, go to find my products, and in English I offer a course of astrology course of tropical astrology for beginners. The first lesson is for free, and this first lesson will help you to do your chart, your natal chart. It will lead you through program Astrocom and teach you how to do your natal chart. So then you will better understand what we are talking about. I draw particular attention to the importance of Saturn and Pluto conjunction, and please watch my video about this conjunction. This conjunction occurred in January 2020 and to a lesser extent repeats in fall 2020. Not that strong, but it will repeat in a way. The message of this constellation is, as we said in the video, to understand what really matters, to stick only to what really matters in order to survive, to discard everything that is superfluous and that belongs to the past, that is gone forever, and to be ready to step into new life, completely new, and if possibly transformed as much as possible. So this is the message of the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto. And what is the message of the conjunction between Pluto and Jupiter that we are talking about in this video? Well, this conjunction, Jupiter and Pluto conjunction, is a phoenix conjunction. So it says that something is permanently living out our lives, living from our lives, but that we are very lucky and that this conjunction actually talks about big amount of luck that we are experiencing in the same time. Something is living, but we are very lucky in this. So that happiness that is emerging here comes also through the lessons we acquire. Many lessons we are going to acquire during this year. The more aware of the situation we are, and the more we believe in the positive force of universe, and more we realize that all this makes sense, more will our conscious opens and engage in an electromagnetic field in which all of the positive forces of the world are, and then together with them we will transit through the new state of new collective consciousness. So this is some sort of a message from me for you, from me, about the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. I also remind here that this conjunction most affects people who have planets or important horoscope points on the last degrees of Capricorn and Cancer mainly, let's say from the 18th to the 29th degree of these two signs. And it will also affect strongly people who have planets or points in these degrees in Aries, Libra, Taurus, Virgo, Scorpio, and Pisces signs. To a lesser extent, this conjunction can also be felt by people who have planets or points in the first 2 to 3 degrees of Aquarius and Leo. These people mentioned here, all of those mentioned here, will go through the deepest transformation in 2020. However, many are already gone through many important things and they are prepared for the whole process in the previous years. So you would ask, how did they prepare? Well, many of those who had time of crisis already in previous years, as I know, I have many clients, so I learn from my clients a lot, of course. So those people already developed some new, let's say, senses because they went through terrible crises or maybe illnesses or something like that. So they also developed some very special self-observation methods. Many started to meditate. Many become more introspective and thus more aware of themselves and their lives. So these people, they will go through all that what is happening in 2020 like smoothly. There is not going to be some bomb, something, because they're going through deep crisis already and they are prepared and they just go to a new stage of existence, But some will feel it strongly like boom energy. So this can be people who do not have planets on cardinal signs on previous dimension degrees. Those who went through difficult times in previous years, in fact, are enabled better than others to reach new state of consciousness, and there maybe already building inside all of those energies that we need in 2020 to survive, let's say. We can even say like that. However, let's also say that Jupiter and Pluto met on for the last time in December 2007 and at the beginning of 2008. It was 12 years ago, and they met in the last degrees of Sagittarius. So if you have planets on the last degrees of Sagittarius or Gemini sign, you can ask yourself, what were you doing then, 12 years ago? Did you decide to start something new in that period of life? If yes, then this year 2020 can be extremely significant for you, as it will mark the end of one cycle and the beginning of new phase regarding the subjects that you were dealing with in 2007-2008. So what could possibly be those subjects? Well, some people started new business, some started to create something completely new through art or something, some were married, some divorced, some started making money in a new way, some went abroad or their situation with children changed, things like that can be. So if it was something like that, then you are now harvesting the fruit from that, what you learn in this 12 years time, or in the worst case scenario, you realize that that was a mistake. You shouldn't do that. According to that, your horoscope, I don't know what was for each of you, but it can be the end of a cycle. You know, it can be very successful because this is time of success, or it can be total failure. So in 2020, Jupiter and Pluto will meet 3 times. They will meet at the end of March, beginning of April. We went through that already. Then we'll meet in June and in November, all the time around 24 and 22nd degree of Capricorn. I have here some questions for you all, some general questions that can inspire you to think of this energy. Please note that astrology describes the manifestation of energy through symbols. So you should not take the time take anything this what I'm saying or asking literally. So questions are: what will give the meaning to your life from 2020 onwards? Where do you get your hope and faith in times of crisis? Is the second question. The third, do you realize that perhaps you were more fortunate than others in this time of crisis? The fourth, are you ready to share your happiness with others if you gain some happiness in these harsh times? So are you ready to share that? Fifth question, did you realize that much depends on positive approach? And the last sixth question is, what definitely goes out from your life, and are you ready to accept it in the best possible way? Okay, and now let's say that the constellation will affect every zodiac sign in some way, but mainly will affect people that we mentioned before according to the degrees where you have planets or points in your natal chart. So Aries people have this energy through the 10th astrological house, which is an area of career, life success, completion of significant life projects. It is the place of authorities and one of parent figure. So this is the place where somebody reaches the top. So through this area of life, potentially some great happiness will come, or thanks to the events that are happening in this area of life, some life success or career, Aries people will undergo some great transformation, and after a period of great efforts also, something can come to them and it can be much bigger than they wished or that they expected. So the question for Aries people is, are you ready for the responsibility or change of plans or some new growth that is offered to you now? Taurus. They're going to experience this very transformative energy through the house of spiritual life. This is the 9th astrological house. And many of them are dealing with the issue of traveling, foreign countries, foreign contacts, working abroad, or people are studying through this house, building new life philosophy, dealing with religion, high courts, or things like that. This is very high energy in the society, quite respected energy. It can be that Taurus may not have believed people who are close to them, so they were searching for the truth through foreign cultures, and therefore some foreign cultures or contacts with foreigners change their life philosophy, and this can have a great impact on them generally after the 2020, especially through this conjunction. So the question for Taurus people is, do you realize that you maybe have more fortune than others? And the question is how you will thank God for that God is giving to you. You know, many Taurus are skeptical, but it's not time for that anymore. It's time to realize that there is something above and it's helping you very much. Gemini people are going through the biggest transformations in the last years, and that's why this very transformative conjunction, this phoenix, that will appear through the 8th astrological house, for them will be very, very significant. This energy can be very useful for Gemini people because they are now more than ever ready to leave something behind, to leave all themselves behind, their fears and frustrations, and to start new life phase. Jupiter and Pluto change their attitude towards money, intimate life, future visions, and possibly will change also their attitude to foreign countries or contacts with foreigners that can come later on, maybe next year. The question for Gemini people is, have you understood what, in the context of your development, these last years mean? And how you will continue to function during this and next year, after this such a big transformation you went through. Of course, it's basically inner transformation. Crab people undergo transformations through contacts with others or through partner or marriage life. And at some stage, it will be very clear that Cancer are avoiding deeper changes. They're avoiding it constantly and will only accept them by the pressure of others. And culmination of that for many crabs will be this year, 2020. So the question for crabs is which relationship will still make sense for you? And are you ready for a big change in relationship life? You know, this is what this conjunction can bring. You can gain a lot through your life partner, but you need to accept that. You know, refusing this, what others offer, is trouble for crabs for many years. A Libra people experience the conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto. Leo people. Leo people experience the conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto through the 6th astrological house, which is the place of health and everyday routine, everyday life. So changes come through daily work, daily life or daily work life. And Leo people are changing their routine or maybe place of work or maybe associates. And we can ask Leos if those crises are influencing their everyday life and everyday routine. So the question then is, what has it taught you? What did you learn through those changes of your daily routine? Virgo people are transformed through the area of life that symbolizes children, creativity, self-realization, and investments. Sometimes it sounds strange, but it is so. The 5th house, house of play and creativity. This is even the house of speculation, money speculation especially. So the question for Virgo people is, are you ready to move in a new life phase regarding those mentioned topics? Children, your creativity, your self-realization, investments. Are you ready for something new there? Is it maybe time for your new, complete new realization because you learned a lot until now? If you're interested in finances and financial speculations, how ready you are to take a risk? There can be certainly be big gain with this conjunction there, but also big loss. So it is only up to you how you will deal with this. Libra people with this conjunction experience some sort of catharsis. For many, this is the end of many transformations that have been going through for years, especially in the realm of family, origins, or regarding their deepest emotions or instincts. The point of all of those big things that Libras were going through was to completely overcome the fear of isolation and to create a new sense of security within the individual. So Libra, the question for you is how are you dealing with this? What did you do with this? Scorpio people. Changes come to them through the home of communication, commerce, thinking, practical life. And the question for Scorpios is, where do you get your energy from in times of crisis? And are you able to overcome the negative scenarios you create yourself? Also, the question is, did you clarify that the tunnel that was made up for you was actually created by your negative thoughts? And do you see already the light at the end of the tunnel? If you see that this light is going to be with you all your life. Sagittarius people, they experience this dramatic conjunction through a place of money, monthly income, family inheritance, perhaps, and through their house of value. So each of us values something else, but we can talk about value. How do we value ourselves? Do we think that it's valuable to have artistic things, or we value money, or we value family life? What do we value we see there? So there are going to be deep things for Sagittarius there. The question for them is whether they are willing to take risk to defend their values, their own worth, or the eventually material possessions they have. For each Sagittarius can be a different thing. Well, Capricorn people is the sign that feels everything that is happening in the world in the last years very, very much, because it is like going through them. So many have undergone such profound changes in recent years that one often does not even experience it during 10 incarnations. In any case, Capricorn people who have planets, let's say, between 17 and 29 degrees of Capricorn are now going through fire. And the old rule applies here. What doesn't burn you up makes you stronger. Just don't worry if you think that you burn up in previous years. If it is so, maybe you will not have any strong events in your life, anything special happening in your life now, But if you have planets in those degrees, it will happen now. So, what to say, Capricorns, go ahead through the fire. That's the only thing that you can do. And the question for you is, do you have the idea what will possibly be the next step in your life when you finish with this? Aquarius people are preparing with this conjunction for a new phase of life, of course, like everyone, but Aquarius especially now. And this will happen through their professional life. But many other things are possible also. The fire of Jupiter and Pluto helps Aquarius to leave behind everything that has been overcome and what they carried with them during all this life, and perhaps they carried through many previous incarnations also. And now they will prepare for the new creation. They will create something new, but first they will need to create new sense of identity. So the question for Aquarius people in this year is, are you ready to show yourself to the public in a whole new way? Pisces go through unrestrained personal change influenced by social events or something that is happening in the collective where they live. It is possible that their friends or just that collective is having completely new ideas now about life, about crises that we are going through, and that significantly change their relationship to themselves and to the world. So Pisces can be very much under the influence of that what is collectively happening. The question for Pisces is, have you achieved what you wanted until now? Did you change so much that you gave up of your long-term plans? That's another possibility. Each Pisces can have it different. Or are you ready to give up on your past aspirations because they don't make sense anymore? And that is all what I wanted to tell you about this conjunction through the zodiac signs. I hope this will help you, and these questions also will inspire you to think about that, what is happening now. But I also want to suggest to you to meditate or to pray about these topics that I will mention here next. I received them from some people who were meditating together. There was a group meditation. This meditation was done collectively when the first meeting of Jupiter and Pluto happened. So I got this via email, and I'm going to introduce those subjects to you. Maybe you will also use them to pray and to meditate on those subjects. One thing is dismantling old world structures and manipulation systems. The second thing, delete the coronavirus forever from the planet of Earth. Stop this new network and its deadly radiation. This is 5 something. Anchor on Earth the energies of peace, harmony, abundance, freedom, healing, and well-being. And pray for the planet Earth and for all of the beings that live on this planet. And that is all. Feel free to order personal consultations with me based on astrological psychology or spiritual astrology. Except for those consultations, I also offer consultations based on Thetahealing, which is a method of spiritually energetic healing and based on Feng Shui. Some of my readings I offer in audio form. I record just some of them, especially, for example, what is the meaning of one's existence and the most important life transits, for example. I mentioned already that I offer online course for the beginners. The name is The Basics of Tropical Astrology, Level 1. If you wish, you can buy it and study online. And all of those videos and everything that I mentioned in this video, I will put links under this video on YouTube, so you will find them there and check them. If you like this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel, and thank you very much for that in advance. And until next time, I wish you good luck in everything that is happening during this year and in everything that this conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto brings possibly to you.